I never imagined my marriage would end with betrayal. Looking back, there were red flags that I ignored, but love blinds you to the truth. For 15 years, I built a life with Vanessa, my wife, my partner, and the woman I thought was my soulmate. We had a beautiful home, a successful business, and what I thought was a loving relationship. But when the mask fell off, I discovered the depth of her deceit, and I wasn't going down without a fight. Chapter 1. The Betrayal. It started with little things, missed dinners, unexplained absences, and the distant look in her eyes. When I confronted her about it, Vanessa dismissed my concerns, accusing me of being paranoid. She said work was stressing her out and she needed space. Trusting her, I backed off. But then, I found the receipts. Literally. While cleaning out her car one weekend, I stumbled upon a receipt for an expensive necklace I'd never seen her wear. It was dated a week before Valentine's Day, the same week she told me she was on a business trip in Chicago. My gut churned. That night, while she slept, I accessed our joint credit card account. The statement read like a love letter to someone else. Fancy dinners, hotel stays, and gifts. My world collapsed when I saw his name. Damien. He was no stranger. He was one of my former employees. I had mentored him, helped him grow, and even recommended him for his current job. He owed his success to me, and this was how he repaid me? The betrayal cut deep. Vanessa wasn't just cheating. She was doing it with a man I had trusted. Chapter 2. Unveiling the Plan. I confronted her the next day. She denied everything at first, but when I showed her the receipts, her face turned ashen. "It's not what you think," she stammered. But the lies came tumbling out when I revealed I had hired a private investigator. I had pictures, videos, and even copies of texts between her and Damien. She couldn't deny it any longer. What she didn't know was that I had uncovered more than her infidelity. I had discovered their plan. Damien and Vanessa had been plotting to take everything from me: the house, the business, and my savings. They wanted to destroy me, file for divorce, and leave me with nothing while they started a new life together. But they underestimated me. Chapter 3. Laying the Trap. Instead of reacting with anger, I played the part of the heartbroken, gullible husband. I apologized to Vanessa for not being enough and promised to work on our marriage. She ate it up, convinced that I was too naive to see through her manipulations. Meanwhile, I worked behind the scenes to protect myself. First, I contacted my lawyer, who helped me restructure the ownership of my business. I transferred the assets to a trust in my sister's name, ensuring Vanessa couldn't touch them. Then, I updated the title of the house, using a legal loophole to secure my sole ownership. Next, I gathered evidence, more than enough to prove her infidelity and conspiracy to defraud me. Damien wasn't as discreet as he thought. My PI unearthed a treasure trove of incriminating evidence, including recorded conversations where they discussed their plans to bleed me dry. Chapter 4. Springing the Trap. The day of reckoning came sooner than I expected. Vanessa had planned a romantic weekend getaway with Damien, using money from our joint account. She lied, saying she was visiting her sick aunt. I pretended to believe her and wished her a safe trip. Once she left, I sprang into action. I changed all the locks on the house and froze our joint accounts. I left her a single note on the front door. "Good luck, Vanessa. You're going to need it." She returned 2 days later to find herself locked out of the house. Furious, she called me, demanding an explanation. I told her to check her email. I had sent her a copy of the evidence, along with divorce papers. "Congratulations," I said. "You're about to be free to start your new life with Damien. Just don't expect to take anything from me." Chapter 5. Damien's Downfall. But I wasn't done yet. Damien had a lot to lose, and I intended to make him pay. Using the evidence I had collected, I sent an anonymous tip to his employer, exposing his affair with a married woman and his attempts to defraud me. It didn't take long for the company to fire him. Apparently, they frowned upon dishonesty and workplace scandals. With no job and no income, Damien quickly became a liability to Vanessa. Their relationship, built on lies and greed, began to crumble. Chapter 6. The courtroom drama. Vanessa tried to fight me in court, but her case fell apart when my lawyer presented the evidence. The judge took one look at the texts, emails, and financial records and ruled in my favor. Vanessa was left with nothing. No house, no business, and no access to my savings. To add insult to injury, the judge ordered her to pay my legal fees. She had to move back in with her parents, while I remained in the home I had worked so hard to build. Chapter 7. Moving Forward. The revenge was sweet, but it wasn't just about punishing Vanessa and Damien. It was about reclaiming my life. I renovated the house, turning it into a fresh start. I focused on my business, which thrived under my full attention. And for the first time in years, I felt free. Vanessa tried to contact me several times, begging for forgiveness and asking for a second chance. I ignored her. She had made her choice, and now she had to live with the consequences. As for Damien, I heard through the grapevine that he ended up moving out of state, broke and unemployed. They say karma comes for everyone, and in this case, it delivered swift justice. Epilogue. A new beginning. It took time, but I eventually opened my heart again. I met someone who appreciated me for who I was, not for what I could provide. Together, we built a life based on trust, respect, and mutual love. Looking back, Vanessa's betrayal was the best thing that ever happened to me. It taught me the importance of valuing myself and never settling for less than I deserved. And while she and Damien's plan may have failed spectacularly, my success was the ultimate revenge. In the end, justice wasn't just satisfying, it was transformative.